Rolling tin fist.
So the plot thickens, man. I had no idea, but my son was invited to a birthday party of the twins that I talked about in the last video over a girl. I totally didn't see this coming, but my wife reminded me that she had mentioned it a few weeks ago. So I'm thinking, great, this should be interesting. So go to the party. It's at one of those gymnasium event places so the kids can run around, bounce on the trampoline, all that kind of stuff. And so it was like all women. There were like three guys there. I guess all the husbands bailed, all the baby daddies. Anyway, it's about easily 20 kids. And, doing their thing, jumping around, cake, food, all that stuff. So the actual cake comes because I was watching for the dynamic between these twin girls and my son. And he's kind of doing his own things like boys do, and the girls are doing their own thing. So I said, oh, okay, I guess things are kind of simpatico. And so they eat, they play some more, they come back, and then it's cake time. So their mom lays out the cake, and where the twins, she wants the twins to sit. It's kind of center of the table. And coincidentally enough, my wife and I are sitting behind those place settings. So if you can imagine a long rectangular table, and in the bottom, if you're looking from above, the bottom middle section are two seats, cakes in front, and we're, my wife and I, behind the two chairs so we can see basically the back of the twins' head and the cake and all the kids. And all the other adults are lined across the wall on the same level we are and extended around the table. So there are two rings of seats. So anyway, I'm watching to see the dynamic of how the cake celebration will turn out. Now, typically, if you've been to kids' birthday parties, typically the closest friends of these celebrants will be the closest to the kids in question. And so I saw couple of kids kind of get close, but no, it wasn't really a mad dash. Again, this is first grade, so they haven't really formed deep and rigid cliques. And so all of a sudden, I see my son trying to get in between the twins to sit down. And I'm like, okay, dude, you can't just hop in and sit in the middle of you two kids. It's a party, it's for them. And I try to pull him away. And then one of the twins says, no, I want him to sit here. And the other twin kind of looks and kind of just acquiesces. Okay. Turns out the one that asked him to sit there is the one he's kind of sweet on and one who kind of likes him. And the other one was the one who ratted him out for calling her a baby. But then they just cool having him sit here. And I'm expecting maybe other kids to protest. But even the twins' mom was like, oh yeah, that's fine. I'm like, okay. And so my son, I carry him over and, my wife slides the chairs in that the twins are sitting in. So just picture this from my perspective. I'm basically watching one girl, my son, the other girl, sandwiched in front of two cakes. And I'm just like, I can't believe this junk. And I'm besides myself, but, everybody else seems to be fine with it. And so, they do the birthday song and all of that, and, they start hanging out goodie bags, and it's time to go. And right before we're about to leave, one of the twins, the one that's sweet on my kid, just comes over, gives him a hug, thanks him for coming. The other twin says nothing, and we leave. And so I'm thinking to myself, man, this thing is deeper than I realized. And again, they're only like in the first grade, right? But you can already see the dynamic in terms of how, again, women compete for males or the attention of males, and also how you have some infighting between women, particularly if there's a male that they deem, desirable on any level. Obviously, at, the elementary age, it's not that complex, but there is that innate sense of there's something of value, and once we determined if we determine there is scarcity, then there is a need to compete for that. And it doesn't really come into full bloom until obviously girls get older, but it's certainly there. It's certainly there from a very young age. So I just thought that was pretty interesting. And we will see, I guess, the next chapter because we've been invited over for a barbecue at some point. Anyway, man, take care.